What is up everyone, it's your boy Speed here, and today I want to talk about one of the strongest, if not the strongest carry hero of this patch, and why you need to be buying Helm of the Dominator on Spectre. This is something that's become very popular within a lot of pro players. There's also a Meteor Hammer build that's going around as well, but personally I'm a much bigger fan of this Helm of the Dominator build. You become incredibly tanky, farm ridiculously fast, and it's really the new Necrobook replacement that just makes you have a ton of stats and armor. Also, I'd like to show you just a quick little stat. It's nothing insane, but on Dota 2 Pro Tracker right now, Spectre currently has a 57.6% win rate, which is the highest I've seen in a while. 361 games also is a pretty good metric, with 208 wins and 153 losses. And I think as people begin to understand and utilize this Helm of the Dominator build better and better, they're going to be able to like this video over and over again. Nah, but I really do believe when this build, people figure it out and get it down, I think they're gonna pop off. But nonetheless, let's get into the video. And I know you guys are interested in this Spectre build, right? We're gonna be looking at the Helm Dom Spectre build, as I said here today. But there's another carry hero that has been prevalent due to an item change, and that is Slark. Slark recently got a big buff in my opinion, where Silver Edge is actually built from Echo Saber, which is a great Slark item. So if you're interested in learning about that build, right, that synergy, the Slark and Silver Edge synergy, I recommend you go check out the gameleap website, because I just did a full VOD analysis of Chris Luck's Slark, where he goes Echo Saber into Scotty into Silver Edge and absolutely pops off for his team. He basically acts as a frontline Slark that has infinite HP and can build up an insane amount of essence shift stacks just from killing the supports. So yeah, check that out, click the link down below, and I hope to see you guys there. So I'm not going to harp too much on the laning stage. Yeah, there's tons of videos that I have on this channel, and I'm sure I have a Spectre video from a while ago that you could just check out for laning stage. However, I would like to note one key difference that players are going. So number one is that he is not going to buy any Wraithband, he's not going to buy a Soul Ring, he is not even going to upgrade his wand, right? He does have a Stick. Stick is obviously very good on Spectre, and he will take a value point in Desolate at level 4. A lot of Spectres in the past would skip Desolate. Desolate is the spell that allows you to do pure damage to heroes that are standing alone and reduce their vision, but most people would skip it. However, because you're farming a lot, and I think you have this Helm of the Dominator creep that helps you wipe through camps, the point in Desolate is pretty good for farming. The next thing you should note is that you do not run a Rush the Crown over the Helm of the Iron Will. The Helm of the Iron Will was actually buffed in a relatively recent patch. I don't remember exactly which one, but nonetheless, they gave it more armor, giving this item 5 armor and 5 HP regen. And honestly, with this in a stick, you're kind of unkillable in the laning stage. It's pretty ridiculous how much HP regen you have, which is essentially 11 right now. Pretty incredible for 7 minutes into the game. And now, as you're going to see here, at the 9-minute mark and 20 seconds, he's going to pick up his Helm of the Dominator, and this is worth a fairly mediocre laning stage. He doesn't have any kills, but he doesn't have any deaths. It's not like his CS is absurd, it's definitely not 60. But 44 is pretty good. Once you pick up the Helm of the Dominator, it's going to allow you to start killing just camps extremely fast. Now, why is this? Let's quickly look at the new Helm of the Dominator for anyone who isn't certain what this item does. So it gives 6 all stats, which is pretty good for Spectre, 6 armor, 6 HP regen, making you ridiculously tanky, and then most importantly, you have the new active Dominate, which was reduced from a 60-second cooldown to 45. However, what's important to note about this creep that you now get is that it's giga-buffed. It's kind of like taking over a Chen creep or an Enchantress creep. It gets a lot of buffs. So it gets its movement speed set to 425, and its max health is a minimum of 1500. So even if you take over a small creep, such as the Ghost Lady, which is frankly broken, and I'll talk about that in a minute here, but you also get 1500 minimum HP, 40 base attack damage, 40 plus 40, right? So if you have 60, you get 100, 12 HP regen, and 4 mana regen. So as you can see, this creep is absurdly strong. And that's why this item is good on Spectre. It makes you tanky and you farm fast, and this creep is really always good, right? Even in the late game, you pick up an Alpha Wolf or an Ice Ogre creep, and you have an absurd amount of value. And now let's quickly talk about the type of creeps that are strong with the Helm of the Dominator. So coming in at number 1 is the Hellbear Smasher. It's the little tomato thing, right? It's what people call the tomato creep. And the reason being why this one is good is because it has attack speed, right? It gives you attack speed as well, but most importantly, when you have this plus 40 damage from the dominated creep, right, the active, it's really, really strong to just have attack speed. On top of that, at number 2, we have the Ghost Lady. I don't even know what her name is, but it's the small creep Ghost Lady. And the reason why she's good is she has like the highest base attack time of any creep in the cabs, which is also strong. And then finally at number 3, what I recommend is this Alpha Wolf. As you can see, that's what Paparazzi takes here. By the way, that's who we're watching. But yeah, he's going to take over this Alpha Wolf, which is going to give you an absurd amount of extra damage, right? It gives actually Paparazzi plus 20, right? Just that is absurd. And as you can see, with the help of this Alpha Wolf, he can push in the mid lane and start to flash farm. And this is what you want to do with your Helm of the Dominator. Just to be clear, he went from this camp to the small camp to this new medium camp. Remember guys, Radiant, this is no longer an ancient camp, it is now a medium camp, which is far better for heroes like Spectre. So he kills a medium camp, over to this medium camp, over to this medium camp, and then to the mid lane. And this, in my opinion, is the best early game rotation you can make for farming, from around the 8 to the 11 minute mark. And the reason being is because often the mid laners will be making plays around the map and you can safely free farm it. Now, there's a level 12 Viper in the mid lane, don't kill yourself trying to take mid farm. And nonetheless, let's do a brief live analysis of, what Paparazzi's doing to get Giga farmed, because he gets really, really farmed. So moving on, he's going to go to the bottom side of the map here. I really do want to point out that he doesn't ever bother contesting this bottom tier 1 tower at all. In fact, I would actually like to say and make the comment that them losing the bottom tier 1 tower actually makes Paparazzi on the Spectre get more farm. He gets more farmed because they take the bottom tier 1 tower, and you'll see why that is in a moment. On top of that, he's going to pick up treads and start to shift over towards the bottom side of the map. And this is such a clean farming rotation because the way he's farming, the direction he's farming is in synergy with the next creep wave that he wants to farm, right? So he goes up to this Mud Golem camp, doesn't finish it because he realizes that the creep wave is more important, gets to the creep wave, and now look how safe this is. Honestly, beautiful haunt. I guess they were communicating because he didn't even look, but nonetheless, he haunts back to bottom using the Shadow Demon. Incredible. And this is how you abuse this Helm of the Dominator timing. You shred all the camps, you split up the map, you never stay with your team, you haunt to one side of the map for a kill. After you get the kill, you haunt back to the other side using someone who's hopefully split pushing, or you TP back down, because haunt obviously doesn't require a TP. And this is where I'd like to mention that, the dead lane concept doesn't always have to come into play, guys, right? Like, this is totally fine for him. In fact, I would argue that this side of the map, if you know you're safe, which for Spectre is pretty fine, especially if you look at these heroes on the enemy team, I wouldn't say they have the best catch for him. He can always go into the trees and juke out. So him playing the bottom side of the map and not having to deal with an ancient camp that I personally think he would struggle in killing is really good for his efficiency. And yeah, so he pushes the lane all the way up to the tier 1 tower. Just specifically, I'd like to note that he doesn't actually push the tier 1 tower. I see a lot of carry players who would hit this creep and immediately take a step forward. You need to hit this creep, immediately waste no time, head over to the left. You can even see he legit hits the creep on the left side. That is what we call beautiful efficiency. Absolutely beautiful. So he hits the creep on the left side, starts shifting over, gonna head over to the small camp. Then obviously after that, he's gonna shift over here. And this is how you become an efficient farmer. You always know which creep camp you're taking next, and you pay attention to the lane, right? This is good too, because if he pushes this tier 1 tower, then they have the chance of killing him, which is obviously not optimal. And the last efficiency play I'd like to make before we move on towards some mid-game is this dagger trick. Pretty simple, but basically anytime you're farming a camp, you can go behind it and direct it at 2 creep camps, just to get that extra bit of value from Spectral Dagger. And now guys, I'd like to give you a pretty, solid marker to know whether or not you're farming fast enough. So we're 20 minutes in here, and 22 seconds, and what you're going to notice is that he has his Helm of the Dominator, Treads, and a Radiance. This is obviously an incredible timing, 178 CS at this marker, and I would recommend in your pubs you strive for a 20 to 22 minute Radiance when going for this Helm of the Dominator. Obviously, the earlier the better. And now we're going to see the perfect synergy, and this is where I would just like to make the point, guys, for everyone who's trying to improve as a carry player. If you feel like your timings don't matter, or a minute or two doesn't make the difference, it's really a bad way of looking at the game. If you're trying to become the best carry player in the world, your main focus needs to be on the timing of your items, and really nothing else, right? Obviously, there's information you need, such as being better at creep aggro, paying attention to the minimap, farming patterns that all allow you to get to these timings, and that's what you should work on as a carry player. Don't focus on this other stuff, because now, at the 20 minute mark here, he has the Radiance, while most players, even without a Helm of the Dominator, like no items, would get this at like 25 minutes, and then they can't show up to fights. But because he has the Radiance here, he waits for the enemy team to overcommit. Pay very close attention to how he uses the haunt here. He waits, right? You want to wait for the enemy team to commit spells. So the Sand King goes in here. He wants to burst the Shadow Demon, so he goes in. Really good Astral by the OD to save the Shadow Demon, but he goes on the Wind Ranger. 2 shots her. Yes, he legit 2 shots. The Wind Ranger, with the help of the dagger, goes on the Shadow Demon, gets disrupted, and then for anyone who doesn't know, you can actually turn off your radiance before the illusions get it. So as you're going to see, I'll slow it down, but as you're going to see, he turns it off right now. And now these Spectre illusions that usually would have radiance don't. Really cool trick. So basically click it once, and then when you come out of the ball, turn it back on. Really cool strategy. And following that up, you can see how he kites out of the fight. I really love his movement here, where he understands that the only hero that currently threatens him is the OD. I suppose the Mars does as well if he hasn't used Arena yet, but the Arena was committed, and therefore he wants to simply disengage from the OD, who is the only hero that threatens him, just purely due to what OD does. OD gets stunned up, he kites back in, secures the kill, and now he's just gonna run at any low HP hero, finds the Shadow Demon in the trees, and you can see that he's just constantly full health. He has a 21 for mana, he's the Aquila for mana as well, he's throwing daggers just all over the place, which is honestly so easy. With this level 15 talent, -8 Spectral Dagger cooldown, it is so strong, right? It is so strong, this talent. Able to kill the PL, and honestly, I just would like to show how much damage he's actually done with this Radiance here. Gets an Ultra kill onto the Wind Ranger, a rampage for Paparazzi as he picks it up, and the Mars destroys one of his items. And yeah, this is what's gonna happen in your pubs, guys. If you manage to get to this timing, right? You get to the point where you can get a Helm of the Dominator at minute 8, minute 9. You can get a Radiance with your treads at from 20 to 22, and then you can haunt in effectively. You're gonna pop off, right? This hero is so strong. This is a hard formula to follow. I get it. You know, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of small things that allows Paparazzi to be so effective on this Helm of the Dominator build. But do understand that this build also does not require a lot of micro. All you need to make sure that you have is a next unit hotkey, or you can have a select all other units as well. Really, either of these are fine. You can even just like drag over the creeps. It's not hard to micro. Just use it to auto attack. You don't even need to use the spells unless you're at a relatively high MMR. And that's going to be about all for today's video. I mean, I'm going to give you a couple more tips in this last fight, but I just really wanted to show you guys this build. I'm honestly fascinated by it because when I read this Helm of the Dominator, I'm like, who's going to buy this? I was pretty skeptical, but hey, that's the cool thing about Dota. You can always have your mind changed, and I'm just so excited to see how this build continues to play out, how people get better with it, because there's so many options. You can make stacks with this Helm of the Dominator, you can drag creep waves to yourself. How good is that? Just having the option to drag creep waves to yourself, and the option to stack camps without your hero. It's just so powerful. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe to help our channel grow. Obviously, I appreciate it as always. And I'll see you in the next one. Before you leave, just want to say a quick message. If you're trying to get better at Dota or you just enjoyed that video, I know this is pretty general and you're going to hear this quite a bit from me, but I recommend you sign up to gameleap.com. Why? Because I put a lot of effort into the content over there, and generally the effort I do there is different from the content you're going to see here on YouTube. It is different. In fact, I usually go a lot more in depth on topics or into niche topics that help you get to the next level even faster, because on YouTube, I often have to keep it more mainstream, and that's even why I'm putting it at the end of this YouTube video. That's why this is at the end, because a lot of people just watch 5 minutes, they skip through just for like the dopamine spike. But if you are interested in actually getting better at Dota, I recommend you go to the description down below, get your discount right now by clicking the link, sign up, use the discount code that you're gonna see there, and I hope to see you there right now, so click it, and yeah, thanks for watching.